Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kayla, doula and homeschool mama 5, and today I wanted to talk about postpartum care. So this is something I'm very passionate about, and I probably will do other videos on this too, but I wanted to put out a video just for any moms that are going into, maybe having their baby or planning on having a baby. I don't know. Anyways, if you have a friend that's having a baby, I just want to give some postpartum tips that I kind of learned along my journey. With my first, I struggled with postpartum anxiety and postpartum depression pretty bad, but I wasn't really honest with anybody during the time. But it was kind of like a year after, and I was starting to feel better. It was almost like it dawned on me like that's what I was struggling with. Thankfully, I didn't have severe postpartum depression or anxiety. I was never on medication, but I definitely was at a low point in my mental health journey during that time. And it progressively has gotten better with each kid that I've had, probably for many reasons, but a lot of it is dealing with my own mental health between having children and just growing and healing in that way. But I just wanted to share some tips that helped me have the very best postpartum period that I could possibly have. So, postpartum is commonly referred to as the fourth trimester, and that is exactly what it is because although you were not pregnant anymore, your life is so wrapped up in this new baby that it's basically similar to being pregnant because it's, all you're thinking about. Your body is going through changes. You are still tied to your baby. Your baby feels like second skin to you, especially if you're breastfeeding. You are constantly with your baby. Um, so, yes, it is just as important as every other trimester, maybe more, because not only are all these things happening, but your hormones are going through such major changes. Um, and so, I just think it's very important. If you don't hear anything else from this entire video, I'm going to break this down. But basically, I want people to prepare and plan for having dopamine release and endorphin release during the postpartum period. Because after you give birth, a lot of the things that you normally do, even during pregnancy, to get endorphins or to have dopamine, like those all, a lot of those things are taken away at one time. For instance, you are no longer able to have sex, and obviously that makes people feel better. It makes you feel connected and all this stuff. You're no longer able to take baths, which for me during pregnancy, I take a bath every single night. It just feels great. It is like, oh, it's my me time. You're not able to after you have give birth because you're still bleeding, and until the bleeding stops, you're not able to take baths. You are no longer able to exercise until, some say 6 weeks, some say until you feel ready, or longer, however it takes. So going for those, daily walks or exercising, lifting weights, all of that is kind of taken away as well. You are, for me, it's not really an option to go leave and have coffee with a friend because, you have your baby and you're feeding your baby. And so your baby either goes with you or you are staying home. And you need to stay home for lots of weeks after you have a baby to rest and let your body heal. Our society and our culture has this like bounce back mentality. Even women that, yeah, rest. For the first week after having your baby, you should just be like laying in bed, not really doing much else. Maybe walk out, maybe sit by a window or something like that. But yeah, very, very little. And then progressively every week you maybe could do a little bit more. But this like jumping up and going somewhere 3 days after you've given birth is like, we shouldn't be applauding women for that because we're not doing them justice and they need to rest. And so, anyways, please hear me, just rest. Lay down. I know it's hard and you will have energy. It's crazy, but after you give birth, it's crazy how a few days after you give birth, you actually have energy and you're like, oh, I can do this. Whatever you're feeling like you can do, don't like, just please rest. And so, anyways, I'm kind of going on a tangent with that, but I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Okay, I didn't sneeze. So I want to just give some tips on how to still have endorphins, still have dopamine when you're not able to do all these things. I'm sure there's more that I listed. So one of the things is sunshine. Number one thing, in my opinion, is sunshine. So when you're laying in bed, if you have a window in your room, open that window. Keep the blinds open. Let the sunshine in. Let the natural light in. Any room that you're in, whether you're sitting on your couch or in your bedroom, in your bed, let that sunshine in. And once you are able to, get up and walk outside, like sit in a chair outside as much as possible. Just yeah, all throughout the day, if you've just fed the baby can come outside with you. You can feed the baby outside. The baby can come outside. But if it's like super hot or super bright outside and you don't want them in this, direct sunlight for too long, then ask your husband to just keep the baby in the shade or inside for a minute and go and sit outside for like 20 minutes at a time. Do that like multiple times as much as possible. Be in the sunshine. You need the vitamin D. It is so good for you. It is known to improve your mood greatly. Yes, so vitamin D. Take your vitamins. Take your supplements that will help you keep eat nutritious food. That's the best way to get your vitamins, but also take your supplements. Eat delicious and nutritious foods high in omega-3s, foods high in vitamins and nutrients. Just eat that. That's going to help you so much. Drink plenty of water. Stay hydrated. Breastfeeding your baby releases those feelings of, endorphins and bonding. Let me see, I wrote them all down. If you are unable to, like, during postpartum period, you're really not able to go out and meet a friend to have a walk or meet a friend to have coffee. So invite a friend over to come hang out with you on your couch and bring coffee, or, have delicious coffee at home. Do these things, but like obviously make them to where you can do them. I'm trying to think of a word and I can't, but whatever. You know what I'm saying. So make it to where you can do it. Do deep breathing, meditation. Have some books that you're looking forward to reading if you're a reader, or if you like listening to books on Audible, go ahead and download them and almost like look forward to getting to that to when you're postpartum. So if you're in your like third trimester of pregnancy, start looking up and going ahead and buying the books or downloading them and saving them for your postpartum period. So you're like looking forward to getting to do that, and then have them on your nightstand. Have some like adult coloring books if you like to do that, or embroidery. I like to do embroidery. Have all of that on your nightstand. Those are just like things that you can do to help just bring you joy throughout the postpartum period, because you're not able to do the things you would maybe normally do to have joy and these good feelings. And so the main thing is just going into it prepared and proactive rather than reactive, because I know a lot of women think, I've never struggled with depression before, so why would I struggle with postpartum depression? It's a whole nother ball game, and you can't control your hormones. And so you want to just be proactive and give yourself the best case scenario to having a great postpartum period. And just spending time with your baby, just that is going to just release all those feelings. I just want women to have good postpartum periods. Our society and our culture is big on the bounce back, is big on not letting men have time off work, so you don't really have your spouse there. I would say just being as open and honest with the people around you, your husband, your family, your friends. I remember after having my first, I was struggling pretty silently, and then when I got pregnant with my second, during my pregnancy, I actually went to my family and close friends and told them, like, hey, I was struggling more than I ever let on. And so during this next postpartum period, will you just come sit like whenever? And just I needed that. I needed people to come and visit with me, and quality time is my love language. So being in the postpartum period where I'm not able to see my friends or have those moments was hard for me. So being honest, though, of course they wanted to help. Nobody felt like, people were probably keeping their distance, thinking that I didn't want, somebody at my house all the time. But when I was honest and told them, like, no, that actually really helps me. It helps me to have a good laugh with a friend or to have a good adult conversation during the day. It just changed so much. So I would just say, my daughter needs me for a second. Okay, so what was I saying? The main thing is, I would just say be proactive, not reactive, be prepared, set yourself up for success, be honest with people, and you're going to have a great postpartum period. And I, I know it just every day kind of feels like it's the same thing every day, like wake up, uh, feed my baby, lay around. It can feel kind of like mundane and stuff. So I would say do as much to make it not like that as possible. Send, download Marco Polo and like message your friends. Keep in contact with your friends. FaceTime, make phone calls, stay connected. Make delicious and nutritious foods at home. Like I said, make delicious coffee at home, read books, journal, sit with the sunlight, do all these things that bring you joy, because it's going to be different. You're going to have to be creative on the ways that you get endorphins and the ways that you have those dopamine releases, because your typical ways are going to be not available during the postpartum period. And so anyways, this is just like a simple thing that I just kind of dawned on me after my fifth baby. I was like, wow, that's why women sometimes struggle. Not only are your hormones doing so much, but all of our typical ways of getting these dopamine releases are stripped at one time. And so going into it knowing that, like being prepared and having alternative ways to get these good, warm, joyful feelings. And so anyways, I hope that that helps. And yeah, so thanks for watching, and let me know if there's another video that you would like to see. And yeah.